Welcome to selfdiscoverywisdom.com, formerly known as Self-Discovery Media. On these podcasts, you're going to hear people who speak from the heart. They've taken the journey in life. Many things have happened to them, but they've changed it to happening for them. And in their strength, their courage, they've discovered their abilities and their wisdom, and they are now sharing it here with you. Do enjoy each show. We bring it to you with love and knowing that it's going to help you on your journey of life. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to another edition of An Author's Kiss right here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. My wonderful guest all the way from Australia is Constanze Hawkins, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning for her, bless her soul. So let's give her some hands for being up this late to do this show. We're going to be talking about her poetry today, poems that capture the thoughts and the wonder inspired by photos. Inspiration is a collection of photographs, each accompanied by a poem depicting Constance's love of the natural world. The poems capture the thoughts and wonder inspired by the photos. Constance took all the photographs herself, mostly near Perth home in the grounds of the University of Western Australia. Even the photograph of a peacock was taken at UWA, which is a few peacocks phenoms roam freely in the gardens. Inspiration offers interesting and at times thought-provoking readers. Constant references the nature shine through in both image and verse. She discusses a wide range of themes around her book. She often reflects on the challenges of handling loss, weaving emotion and experiences into verse. She can also explore how the length of her poem influences the way readers engage with it and how nature, its beauty, complexity, and timelessness continues to inspire her writing. With her background in fashion, Constance brings a unique perspective on how the world has shaped her creative voice. She also pairs her poetry with photography, offering visual dimensions that deepen the reader's experience. Often reoccurring theme in her work is the lament of the loss of childhood, which she captures in the poignancy and thought-provoking insight. She was originally born in Germany. Her family immigrated to Melbourne, Australia when she was 4. And she studied fashion and textiles, and she accomplished her studies, got married, she had a family, she moved to Perth. And she earned a graduate degree in design at the Curtin University of Technology and worked with a fashion pattern maker and a grader until retirement. There is also another book that she has here, Eloise and Other Verses. It is the inescapable human experience of loss. She became interested in loss when her father died, followed by the breakup of her marriage and the death of her mother. Her experience of loss is often dealt with her alone, a theme that explores in her poems. And, loss is something that it doesn't matter who you are, where you are, how old you are, we're all going to go through it at some point.
Yes,
We're all going to
yes,
feel it. And we don't know how it's going to affect us until it happens. And very often it's a pause and a reflection of the things unsaid, undone, or things that you wish you could do again. I'd like to address this book first before we go into the other one.
is
So,
that Eloise and Other
yes.
Verses? That's no longer available.
Oh, no.
It's,
Well, it's up there on Amazon.
Amazon and some of the other bookshops, may still have some copies on their shelves.
Okay, yes, because I still see it there in Amazon. So it looks like you
Yeah,
can still
okay.
buy it, which we can still talk
Right.
about it because it obviously you wrote it for a reason.
Yeah,
So it came about because of the loss, obviously the synchronicity, your father, your mother, a marriage coming to an end, all of it is a
yeah,
loss, right? So
yeah.
this is what inspired the book.
Yes, yes.
And what made you kind of think, okay, I need to get this down on paper?
Um, I didn't, it's not so much, it is a need, it's a sort of a desire to write. And when things capture my imagination, I start to think about it and compose some verses, and then it becomes a longer poem. I sit down and think about it, and then it becomes a structured work.
And so, is it something that is in your head and then goes down to paper, or is it something that when you get to paper, it pours out?
It goes, and it's something that's in my head. Sometimes I'll get a line, and then I sort of think, oh, and I can expand on that. And I sit down and then I create a poem from that. And sometimes it can be something that I see,
Mm-hmm.
or I see some interaction between people. And then it just evolves into a poem for me.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I always say we're very fluent creatures and we always need to be in flow. And poetry is an expression of fluidity, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
So how is it that for you, I mean, we're a pattern maker, which is always about creativity, right? Discovering
yes,
different ways of doing things. Have you always been a person that's kind of ridden the flow wave?
yes, yes. Well, I'm drawn to creative
Hmm.
activities. And I'm at that. That's yes, yes. I have always been like that. Yes,
I think that it's, something when we allow our fluidness to go, it will always find a way to express itself, even, in the loss, because we do need to express it. We can't suppress it,
no,
right?
no. And perhaps that's why I write those things. Because it's got to come out of me
Hmm.
and onto paper. And I write on paper and then I type it up because I like to sit in a comfortable chair and the pen on the paper. I like that.
Hmm.
I like that.
Yeah, many, many writers do. My brother's a professional author, and everything is written out first. Yeah, I have dyslexia, so for me, the writing, I couldn't read my own writing. So for
Oh,
me, when the computer came about and I could write and rearrange, it then became my
yes.
voice. But for many people, it is the actual hand to paper. That's where the
Yes,
creativity is. Hmm.
yes, yes. I love it. Sitting in a comfortable chair. I'm happiest when I'm doing that.
Hmm. Yeah. And that's the thing. We all want to find our happy spot, don't we? We want to find a
Yes,
place where we feel connected to self.
yes, yes.
So when did this all start for you?
Well, when I was a young girl, well, my mother said to me that when I was a very small child, I used to sit in my cot and tell stories. And then when I was a young girl, I had a notebook and I would write just one or two lines here and there. Then went to college and went and got married, had children, and so that was put on the back burner a bit. And it wasn't until I retired, I did a little bit of writing, but it wasn't until I retired that my mind felt free to be able to
Mm,
express myself.
hmm.
And because, especially once my marriage broke up, I had to raise children, I had to work full time, and I never felt that I had the mental space I needed to write. I know a lot of people manage it, but
Yeah.
it was difficult for me. And when I retired, suddenly there was this world, it opened out for me and I could write.
And that's the thing, you made a point. You're raising children, you're working, life interrupts us, right?
Yes,
And if
yes,
only we could keep our creativity through that, it would actually
yes,
help us on our journey. But life just becomes so busy that we put ourselves on the back burner. And
yes,
it's I think what we need to do is carve time out and space for ourselves, no matter
yes,
how busy we are, and
yes,
allow things to come through us, because I think it will help us navigate all the other parts.
yes,
So
yes.
a lesson to be learned from there, right? It's like, don't put
I
yourself
think
on the
it
back
is.
burner.
I think it is. Yes,
Hmm.
yes. I have a niece who writes. She did creative writing at university, and she sets aside a certain time. She doesn't
Hmm.
have children yet. She's married and she's working. And she sets a certain time each week that she sits down and writes. And that should have been something that I could have done, probably found some time to do that. Yes.
But our generation especially, that's being selfish,
Yeah.
right? Which, no, folks, it isn't selfish. It's absolutely a necessity to give yourself space and time. But we were brought up that is always the sacrifice that we've got to make, which is a whole load of balderdash.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, So how young were your children when you got divorced?
Um, I have three children, two sons and a daughter. My eldest one would have been about 12, and the next one would have been about 11 and a half, and my daughter was about 8.
Right. Yes, mine were teenagers. They were 12, 18, and 20. So, there
Oh,
was another
right.
end of the scale. So, but yes,
Yes,
they're still dealing with a disruption. They're still
yes,
dealing with a lifestyle difference, and you're trying to
yes,
make it, yeah, as even as possible, for them to
yes,
navigate through. And so you
yes,
take on even more on your shoulders, right?
yes,
So, and people don't realize that when you have a divorce, although, very often necessary for many reasons, it's still a loss. It's a loss of a lifestyle,
yes,
loss of a
yes,
partner, loss of support, if it was there.
yes,
Um, and it's a loss of a future that you thought you would have.
yes. Yes, suddenly there's this sort of blank. Where is it going? Where is the future going? Where am I
Mm,
heading? What's going to happen now?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And, obviously later when this came out, did this all pour out into your poetry?
Um, Really, not really. A little bit maybe in Mother Mother Magna Mater. I think it came out in that one a bit, but I sort of treat other areas of loss because it's more the sense of the feeling of the loss that I bring through, and for different reasons.
Mhm. Yeah. And, losing a parent, I lost my dad when I was 11, and my mother made it to 95, but she was bedbound for
Oh,
6 years. But,
oh,
losing a parent at any age, it's losing your childhood along with it.
yes,
There's so
yes,
much there. And if they're taken before. I think you notice it with your children. Like with mine, it's like, I wish that my son had got to know his grandfather because a lot alike,
yes,
and
yes,
that I wish he'd walked me down the aisle, proverbially, or held
yes,
the first grandchild. And it becomes all the things that you miss about them when you have your milestones.
yes, yes. I have a wonderful memory. My father died of cancer, and on when he was getting quite ill, we all went over. They were still in Melbourne, and I have a sister in Sydney and two brothers in Melbourne, and another sister who has since passed away, and we all went over for Christmas. And my father was sitting at the chair reading the newspaper, and both of my sons stood behind him,
Mm,
and it was just a lovely picture. I thought
yeah.
they both just stood beside him. They were, feeling for him.
Yes, yes. And kind of an image that stays in your mind, right? Those little
Yes,
captures, that
yes,
moment in time, which is so
yes.
precious. Recently, my son-in-law played around with some old photographs of my mother and father that were black and white, and he colorized them. And
Oh,
suddenly I'm looking at my parents, when they first fell in love, all in color. And they came alive. And I did a show. I do my own show every week on Sarah's View of Life. Color me alive. And it's like what we're seeing with this technology is the revitalization of, those that are past that were black and white, and just come back into our lives in a sense,
oh,
because of that
yes.
colorization. And I would imagine
Oh,
even through the poetry, you're kind of bringing them alive again.
yes, yes, yes.
Would you like to read any one of those poems to us? Do you have that
Um,
book there?
I have inspirations. I will just go. Can I go and get
Yes,
one?
please
Get
do.
a copy?
Please do. Can you believe, folks? 2 o'clock in the morning. She didn't. Her publicist didn't realize that I can do later for people that are in Australia or other parts of the world. But here she is, 2 o'clock in the morning. Good trooper for her. And I believe she's 81. So that's really quite amazing. And it also shows us we are never, ever too old to pursue something that's in our heart's desire, and that we need to get it down. Okay.
I'll read the last. Some of these poems are very long,
Mm-hmm.
so that Mother Mother is probably quite too long to read now. But I'll just see where that is now. Page 14. I'll just read the first verse and the last one.
Okay.
Okay, this is Mother, Mother, Magna Mater. Mother, Mother, don't look around. Mother, Mother, I have just fallen down. Mother, Mother, stare straight ahead. Pretend you did not hear the thud. I have grown quite tall now and can pick myself up from the cold, hard floor. It does not matter that my love has gone. No, I don't need your loving arms. It is the way we young prefer it today. We lick our own wounds and hurry away. Yes, we were so in love on that day that we wed when vows of love we exchanged with 2 rings. The man in the dress made a sign of the cross. And the last verse is, Mother, Mother, where have you gone? Mother, Mother, now that I have grown. Mother, Mother, did I tell you? Can you hear? Mother, I once fell down onto the ground. Mother, Mother, it hurts just here.
Hmm.
There were things that I wanted to say to my mother that I didn't do when she was alive.
Right. Yes, I mean, this is the thing, carpe diem, seize the moment, seize the day, right? You just don't
Yes.
put things off. And
No.
this is, I can't remember if it was Meatloaf or which group it was, talked about, I don't think it was Meatloaf, but, talked about, the father always being too busy.
Cats in the
And
cradle. Cats
yes,
in the
thank you.
cradle.
Yes. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
remember going to an event where they played that and I just burst into tears. It was like suddenly, because
Yes.
I didn't cry when my dad died. For me, death has always been an exit of the body and this life experience, but your soul and spirit carries on, right? It
Yes.
either comes back or it elevates. But suddenly I just cried at that one because I never had the opportunity to really know my
Yes.
father or for him to get to know me as an adult. It is such a poignant song that hits
Yes.
so many people.
Yes. Yes.
So for you to write a poem like that, where in the beginning verse, we're okay, we don't need your help,
That's right.
and then at the end
Yes.
of it, where are you? I
Yes. Yes.
need you.
You realize what you've lost.
Yes,
You
yes,
realize what you've lost.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And we do, when we're young. No, it's okay. What do you know? You know, and
Yes.
then it's like,
Yes.
Mom. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And of course, your children are all grown. My children are all grown. I am about to have a third grandson born in 2.5 weeks. So
Oh,
it's all about, grandchildren now, and all the kids are grown and following their own life. And they kind of then look at you as if you are the grandkid. Like
yeah.
suddenly, what do
Yeah.
you know? What did you go through? You're just, and it's like, if only you knew.
Yes.
So I think that kind of getting things down, even in poetry, which is your forte, you're leaving a legacy for them as
Yes.
well.
Yes. Well, with inspirations, one of my sons, they're single page poetry, and they've been inspired by the photographs that I took,
Hmm.
and he reads them to their children at night.
Ah,
He
lovely.
reads a verse here and there. Eloise and other verses is not really for children. Young adults maybe, but
Hmm.
more for adults. But inspirations can be read any age. It's suitable for any age group.
Have you got one you could read to us that's a favorite or
Yes,
apropos?
yes. How about Spring's First Flowers? And the poem, the photograph is mauve wisteria growing on an old dead tree trunk. See?
Nope, you have to lift it up to the camera. Up a bit. Keep. Okay, yes, now we see it for those that are watching the video. And if not, come back to the come back to the video, you can see it. Right. Beautiful flower, actually. Yes.
Yes. Spring's first flower. Flowers of my heart you dangle down, droplets of beads just hanging on ash veins stark and bare, telling the world that spring is now under the never-ending sky. Songs of youth on old tunes, holding fast on the dead wood tree, bracing yourself with your zest renewed on life that was not revived, with perfume that hums in the air, welcoming me to the sights and sounds of earth, beckoning me to come near. New life and old in quiet repose, Mother Nature singing as well she knows.
Mm. I mean, Mother Nature, is. I was just thinking this, lying there this morning when I woke up, because my thoughts are always busy, 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 and it was like I wanted to do a show to humans and saying you are not the only species, right? And like, and it's like we have not only betrayed ourselves, but we've betrayed Earth and we've betrayed all that is on Earth because the way we treat it, right? And it's like, what makes every other species and Mother Nature herself a second-rate citizen, right?
Yes,
Because we think we're more important. And just look at what she gives us. And,
yes,
disaster movie after disaster movie, we see when Mother Nature ain't around anymore because you've
yes,
depleted her, and then
yes,
what? Right. And I
yes,
think that there's so much we could that can keep us grounded, that can keep us center
yes, yes.
from really listening.
Yes. Well, when I look out over a garden, I walk through the university ground, University of Western Australia grounds every weekday morning. And when I look at the gardens, they're so peaceful and joyful. Or if I'm looking at some bushland, I get this overwhelming feeling that I am part of nature.
Yes, yes, you
I
are.
belong. I belong.
Yes,
I'm one with it.
yes.
It's really a very strong and powerful feeling that I get, especially when it's quiet.
Mm,
You know?
yeah. Yes, like walking through the forest during a windy day and all the leaves are talking to you as they rustle.
Yes,
And,
yes,
when you see dogs sniffing around and running and kids picking up leaves, where Australia is obviously going into spring now because the
yes,
seasons are reversed.
yes,
And so here we're going into fall. And now we're starting to see how the leaves are beginning to turn. And I was trying to describe it to my 4-year-old grandson, that all the leaves are changing now. The leaves, the trees aren't dying. I said the leaves drop off to save the trees so
yes,
that they've got the energy to see themselves through the winter so they could
yes,
be reborn in the summer. So we were talking about rebirth and leaves dropping off. I said, just like we prepare for winter, you know, um,
yes,
and fall is my favorite season, followed by spring, right? Because of all the colors and just the whole thing about it. But I think the more and more that we pay attention to nature itself, the more we pay attention to what's going on within us.
yes, yes, yes. And I like autumn too because the weather's still warm without
Yes,
being too hot, and the
yes,
night then you don't have those cold mornings that you get in spring,
hmm,
when the
yeah.
temperature drops and the beautiful days we have in spring, but it's you still feel that winter sometimes, a bit of winter comes
Yeah.
with it.
Yes. And of course, nowadays, because I did a show on that, falling into fall. Um, and it is about here, up until about a week ago, we still had 30-degree temperatures, which was,
Mm.
we've had so many 30 degrees where it used to be 1 week a year. Now it's several weeks in the
Yes,
months. And so certainly global warming. But then suddenly we went down to 20 and 22. As you said, you can walk out just a blouse or maybe a light cardigan. It's not
yes,
too hot. It's just pleasant. The
yes,
mornings are a little mildewy, but not too cold, and it's just,
yes,
there's something about it where you feel even that little chill in the morning is invigorating, right?
yes,
Right. So it kind
yes,
of wakes you up for the day, and then you start seeing the
yes,
sun come out, but you're
yes.
not going to be sweating like God knows what through the day. So yeah, fall is beautiful, and I'm praying that we have fall right up until November. I'm not ready
Oh,
for like fall and then immediate
ready for
winter. I'm not
winter.
ready for that. No. Um, Flowers, I mean, the colors of them, when you look at flowers themselves and you look at the architecture of them, the design of them,
Yes,
and as a pattern maker,
yes,
you must look at these patterns and go, oh my
yes,
goodness, if I had to cut that out as a pattern, the
yes,
intricacies of
yes,
it would be so detailed. As a pattern
yes.
maker, do you see patterns differently?
Not really. I do when I see clothes. I sort of thinking,
Mm.
oh, that would be made this way or that
Yeah.
way, but not with nature. No, I don't. I don't. Unless it comes through unconsciously.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's not something that I think about.
Right. Because, when we look at nature and you look at the colors and you look at the design and you look at its purpose, it's
Yes.
really extraordinary. And if we actually do look at that and how Mother Nature is
Yes.
so superior in its creativity, I think we would have more appreciation.
Yes, I sometimes get very ordinary flowers, um, and I take a close up of it so that you can see the beauty in it.
Mm,
Beauty in the ordinary.
yes.
It's and they're still, it's yeah,
Yeah, people say to me, who do I interview? And I say, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Because basically, it isn't what we're doing that stands out, but we're all ordinary people, we're just
yeah,
people tapping into something the gift that we are, and sharing it out in whichever way we're meant to share it.
yes, yes, yes.
So flowers and landscapes and things like this, they speak to you and you transfer them. Do you find that when you go out for a walk, oh my God, I'm downloading here and I haven't got my pen and paper with me?
I I did when I was writing Eloise and other verses because they're very long. So there's some there with, maybe 30 verses in it there.
Yeah.
Um, I did then because I didn't want to lose the thread. But
Hmm.
with these other ones, no, I tend to remember. I remember what I'm thinking of.
Right.
Yeah.
Is
And
it a
I
thought
come
or more of a
home.
feeling?
It's both. It's a feeling, but it translates itself into a
Yes.
thought.
Yeah.
And then I come back and I write it down then. Yeah.
Hmm. And obviously inspirations, and I always say inspiration begets invitation. When you're inspired, you're
Mhm.
invited to either take
Yeah.
action or pivot, see things from a different point of view, because that's what
Mhm.
inspiration is. It's an invitation to look at something in a different way.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what made you call it that?
Well, I really felt inspired by nature when I
Mhm.
wrote these poems, and I thought, well, inspirations is really what they are. What they are.
Mhm.
They've been inspired by nature, the poems, and that's what they are. They're inspirations.
We all need a little inspiration in our lives, don't you? Especially
Yeah.
when, like, what's going on in here in North America. Um, and there's a lot of heaviness in the world. And
Yeah.
I believe that we're going through a transformation as a humanity.
Oh,
And so this transformation is that you have to get rid of the old in order to embrace the new. But you can only get rid of the old when people are irate enough to see how bad the old is, right?
yes.
People sometimes don't clean house until they've got someone coming to visit. And then as they're cleaning, how did I let it get to be so bad? Right.
Yeah.
And so we're politically going for that. We're morally going for that. We're as society going through that right now,
Yeah.
fighting for a cleaner point of view, in a sense of inclusion and beauty. Because if we only had one flower in the garden, and that's the flower, no other flowers were allowed to be there, then we would be denying ourselves the story of the garden and all its beautiful flourish with all the other
Yeah.
flowers, right? So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that, again, when we look at nature and we look how well it lives with each other, right? How
Yeah.
so much can grow together in one space without argument. You know,
Yes.
it's a
Yeah.
real example for us to look at where we're at.
Yeah. They're peacefully together.
Yes, exactly.
Peacefully
And
together.
and that it's all, if we take ego out of it, when fear out of it,
Yeah.
this is the natural state of being.
Yes.
Have you
Yeah.
written a poem on that?
No.
That's an inspiration for you.
But it's something I will think about.
Right. Yes, it can always go up on your Instagram, right? I think I love it when people have found that rhythm and that calling and, do something about it. My mottos with these shows are listen, learn, and apply. So when you had the space, I've got the time now, you listened to how you felt and you paid attention to what wanted to come out. And you could have just done it for yourself, but you put them in books as a way to share it with other people. Was that
Yes.
an encouragement by other kids? Or was that a desire on your side?
No, my desire was to write. And then I thought, well, I would like other people to read this.
Yeah. Hmm.
And but it's not why I started to write. I didn't start to write because I wanted people to
Right.
read them. I write because I want to write. I have this real desire to write, to put it down on paper. And then, yes.
Now there's all sorts of drawings behind you. Are these grand drawings?
Yes, they're my grandchildren.
How many do you have?
I have seven grandsons,
Wow.
no granddaughters.
How many?
I have seven grandsons, no
Well,
granddaughters.
yeah, I'm about to have the third grandson, no
Oh,
granddaughter, so
no.
step granddaughter. But yes, we were all kind of hoping to have a little girl. No, so it's going to be three boys beating Nana up now. Right now they're at the stage of let's bury grandma underneath the stuffies and sit on her. So yes, I know. Like, I know we're stopping here. This is it. I'm not sure we'll see any more grandchildren. Not this daughter anyway. But yes, they're rambunctious, but in it too, they help us see things and connect to things in a totally different
Yes,
way, don't they?
yes.
Different to the
I
what
didn't
raising of your
mind.
kids because you've got time to
Yeah,
watch them from a little bit of, yeah.
yes, 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 yeah.
You can enjoy them, spoil them, rambunctious with them, and then send them home. I had my 2-year-old grandson here for the weekend because
Yeah.
mum and dad were away, and like he's at that stage with there's something to be got into, he'll get into it.
Oh no.
So everything all over the floor, very pleased with himself, having to lift everything up high. And it's like, oh my God, forget about, tidiness. It's not happening right now. But it really brings you alive, doesn't it?
Yes, yes. And it's interesting to see, they're different to my children. I suppose now with the computers and the video
Yeah.
games, and they still love their books. Um, it's interesting to see they're different. They're different to my children.
Yeah.
It's a different generation. They think
Yes.
differently. It's really interesting.
And when we think about it, things like AI and everything else is going to be very much governing the
Yes.
world. And I think,
Yeah.
one of our jobs as grandparents and parents too, but grandparents especially, is to remind them that where AI has its place, I use it, it's a great tool, where it has its place and it's going to replace a lot of mundane type jobs. Um, it's allowing us to become more creative, but don't rely on it to replace you, right?
No,
It's
no.
here to enhance you, to
Assist you.
support you.
Yeah.
And although we can use it as correcting, editing, and things like this, don't let it become your voice. Let it enhance your voice.
Yeah. 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 Yes. AI is a big thing now, isn't it? It's becoming more and more popular.
Yep. And it's here to stay. It's not going to go anywhere.
Yes, that's right. Well, I think that's the thing, sometimes people say they shouldn't be playing on video games and things like that. That they're not allowed to play it all the time. They have to do other
Right.
activities as
Mm.
well. They love to draw. All my grandchildren love to draw. And but they've got to do it because that's the future. They
Yes.
have to play with the
Yeah.
video games and keep up with it because that is the future.
Yeah.
That's their
Exactly.
future. They have to live in the world with these machines.
Right. And it's finding balance. Like everything in life is
Yes,
finding balance, isn't it?
yes,
Not letting one thing take over the other, but how it complements each other, which
yes,
is
yes,
important. That
yes,
complementation is so important.
yes.
Have you been inspired by your grandchildren in your poetry?
No, I tend not to be inspired by my family. I don't know why. I was with my parents But no, I don't write about my grandchildren or my children. No.
May come about one day when you've just got to pour it out.
Yes.
In the meantime, as you said, you're teaching them how to look at nature in a different way,
Yes. Yes.
which is very
Yes.
important. And I like the fact that your books, I always say that when an adult is reading to a child, they're learning,
Yes.
relearning to look at something in a
Yes.
different way. And
Yes.
so having something that shows them how to look at nature differently and appreciate, because I think a
Yes.
lot of the problem with society, they live in lackitude rather than gratitude. And I
Uh,
think that, when they learn to appreciate what is being given to them by Mother Nature and how abundant and rich we are with Mother
yes.
Nature, I think that gratitude becomes a lot higher.
Yes. One of my grandsons, he picked up just the skeleton of a leaf, just the veins of the leaf, and he
Hmm.
showed it to me. And then I found a flower press where you
Yeah.
dry flowers press. So I gave him one for Christmas one year. And he loved it.
Hmm.
He pressed flowers in it, and I thought it's for a girl, and I thought, no, I give it to him.
No,
And
because
he
it's showing,
really,
yeah, he's seeing things in a different way, right?
yes,
Through pressing them,
yes,
the veins, and he's also preserving. And that is
yes,
something we don't teach our children to do today because
yes,
everything's renewable, 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 like just go and get something else. No, how about preserving? All right. And
yes,
that's in doing that, he's learning that format, which I think is really
yes,
important.
yes, yes,
Beautiful. Um, and again, to look at it in a totally different light, you know,
yes.
it may
He
be
was
gone, but
fascinated
it's,
by it. He showed it to me. Look, look at this.
yeah, yeah, well, that's wonderful
So
because,
he
we,
noticed it. He noticed it, I
yes,
thought.
yes. And set his creativity off in a different way,
Yes,
right? Which is what we want to do. We want, again, to illuminate through that
yeah,
inspiration
yes,
something that they can pursue. So,
yes,
whether it's young or old, and as I said, like when parents are reading to kids, but even when we pick up, no matter what our age is, it's a reminder to see things in the light that they are. And sometimes it's a decompressor to what's going on in your head, right? Just to,
right.
step into that and see something in a different way, and it can change those neurons.
Yes, 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 yes,
See the beauty through the poetry, which is so very important. And
yes.
how long did it take you to write this book?
Um, well, Eloise and other verses took I don't really know because I had some of the poems from before I retired, and then I wrote the rest of them. I don't really know. Inspirations took me, I would say, about
Hmm.
a year to write. There's 45 poems there,
Hmm.
and by the time that was getting it ready to be published.
Hmm.
So printing it out
Was it really hard to kind of choose which photograph it goes with which
no,
poetry? No?
no, 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 I know instantly. When I see something, I think that's what I want.
Right.
It wasn't hard at all. It wasn't hard at all. It was easy.
So it spoke to you and said, let's have a chorus here, right?
Yes,
The way you
yes,
see me and how you express me is also my voice coming through you.
yes,
Yeah, nice,
yes,
very nice. And very, very defiant, in its the way that it presents itself, because for so many people, it's, I don't know which one, and this way, as you said,
yes,
it has a story to tell and it's choosing you to
yes,
tell it.
yes,
Mm,
yes,
nice. Is
yes.
there going to be another book?
Well, I'm working on one.
Oh, wonderful. And what's this one about?
Oh, I'm not going to say. I don't usually say until it's ready for printing.
Right. And when do you think that will be?
Uh, I I have to. This is a longer piece. It's a historical novel,
Ah.
and I don't know whether it'll be in verse or prose. I'm just thinking about that, but I have to get copyright permission for things like dates and settings for the historical part. And I've
Mhm.
just had one writer, one publishing house say, no, I can't have it. So I have to rethink what I'm doing.
Right.
I would say it's a fair way off. It's a fair way off.
Yeah, that kind of is like kind of a little mind-boggling that you want to talk about something that is historical, time and place, but you have to seek permission for it.
Yeah. Well, no, because the story is mine, but the setting and the dates and the places, if I want to use them, are my
Ah,
son, one of my sons says to me, you're being too fussy, it's history, people know these things. But I just would not take the risk. I would not take the risk, if I need to get copyright permission to use copyrighted content, then
right,
that's what I will do.
right. So it's
It's
not
the proper
referencing the
way.
time and place, it's actually taking content from that time and place that you want to get
The
permission on doing.
setting, for the setting, for the
Right.
setting, the
Yeah.
setting, sort of the background.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not a lot, out of a whole book, it might be one page.
Hmm.
It's not a lot. But I still think that I still don't know what the term fair dealing means. So, there's a lot that I'm thinking through at the moment. So it'll be a while. The stories are all prepared. I
Right. It's
know,
just
no,
its
that's
format.
all
Yeah.
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all done in my head. That's all very clear. So, but yeah, I need to rethink it.
Right. Oh, well, I'd go back to the kind of when you feel it, the thoughts will come. Right.
Yes,
So
yes,
when it feels right, oh no, it feels right
yes,
now, I can go forth, right? And
yes,
very often if we try and think something, we go down doubt road. But when we trust and just feel it, then that I call that clarity. It's when the thoughts
yes,
go, yes. And now
yes.
then
That's
everything
it.
just comes and lines perfectly.
Yes. And I'm not there yet.
Right.
I'm not there yet. Not for the setting. So
Right.
I'm not there yet. The settings, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. There's a number of writers, my brother included, that will base a story with historical fact. Right.
Right.
And so if you are going to do that, you want to know that historical fact is absolutely clear,
Correct. Yes,
because
and
if
correct.
not,
Yes.
it will throw the rest of the content of the book out. Right.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
it is
Yes.
important to know that, because if it isn't right, then people go, well, what about the rest of the book? Right.
Yes.
So yeah, it's
Yes.
having that, and then also having it like, there's an author called Clive Cussler, and he was kind of the James Bond of the ocean with his Dirk Pitt, as his main character. And it always started off with an historical event. And then
Ah,
years later, that historical event presenting itself in today's world. But that
ah,
historical event could always be clarified, right? And so it was
mm,
quite interesting the way he went. You always were fascinated. Well, how is this going to tie in together? Right.
ah,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and it made it fun because that there was some fact in there that made
yes,
the fiction more exciting.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
you've got the writing bug now. So we're going from
yes,
poetry, into a book. And
mm,
so it's when you find that kind of calling, it's exciting, isn't it? Because it,
yes,
it's it's like who you were meant to be. We have all different chapters in our book of
yeah,
life, but this is
yeah,
who you're meant to be in this chapter of life.
yeah. Yes, well, I'm very happy with I've had a difficult life. I won't go into that, but I had difficult years. But now, I'm really happy in the way my life is going. I have got a wonderful family, lovely grandchildren that I spend some time with, and I can write.
Yes.
So, life is good for me at present.
And, an awful lot of your writing is coming from having gone through that, through
Yes,
it, coming
yes,
out the other side, choosing to step into a life that you are happy and content with, into
yes,
meaningful purpose. And that is,
yes,
an inspiration in itself, is that we can
yes,
find that path.
yes,
But the journey is going through,
yes,
which is
yes.
important. If we don't go
Yes.
through, we don't make it happen.
No, no, no,
We
that's
get
right.
stuck in the pain, which we
Yeah.
don't want to do. We want to
No.
Yeah. And so, a lot of people find writing very cathartic. I know I do. Um,
Yeah.
so when you write these poems, do you at the end of it feel like, I've just kind of spent something of myself that I really feel good about?
With more with the poems in Eloise and other verses, not so much with inspirations. They made me happy.
Hmm. Yeah.
They made me happy. Yeah, I
Which
was,
we need a lot more happiness in the world, that's for sure.
yes.
I think we've kind of forgotten what joy is, especially as we get older and when we look at our children. Like my little 2-year-old yesterday, we were just kicking this little toy ball around, and he would kick it to me, and I'll kick it to him. He was laughing to a point of hiccups, and just a
Oh,
simple little thing, so joyous.
yeah,
And we've forgotten what that is, right? Just
yeah,
reading something, looking at something,
yeah,
this just warms the heart and cheers us up. We need that.
yes. Yeah, and children are like that, when they discover something
Mm,
new or having
mm.
fun, like your grandson kicking the ball. It comes out, doesn't it?
Yes.
The joy.
And it reminds us. So we need something out there that reminds us. And you've simply taken photographs that spoke to you, that have revealed their story. And in reading that story, it ignites something inside of us, a different way of
Yes,
looking at something, back
yes,
into that
yes,
kind of gratitude and appreciation and just lifting one up. And we so desperately need that in the world right now.
yes, yes, yes.
So, when did the book come out?
Last year,
So,
Inspirations was published in 2024,
mhm.
and Eloise and Other Verses was published in 2023.
Right. And the next one may be 2026. So keep the ball rolling here.
Fingers crossed.
As you said, it's a story ready to come out. You just got to get this fact right. Right. So that's okay. It will come out when it was meant to, but I think it's going to be coming out soon. So um, people can find the book on Amazon. And
Yes,
so all they have to do is just, go into Amazon and both of the books are there. I'm just going to click on the Eloise and see. Yeah, no, it's still in print, love. So definitely.
yeah,
And I think it's a really important one because it does, look at loss and our human nature around it and everything
yes,
that you've got in there is, I think, for people at the present moment that are going through things, you know, um, loss is something that's really, really big. And I think that
yeah,
that's a good one for people to read, I would say first, because it's relatable to whatever loss they've had. And then
yes,
step into inspirations where now you can
yeah,
just purely embrace joy and the
yes,
love of nature and how it captures the wonderment and inspiration of what's around us and allow us to become joy again. You can't become joy again if you're carrying the weight. So
no,
read and get
no,
rid of that and then embrace the joy.
yes, yes,
So they
yeah,
can find that on Amazon. And of course, you're on Instagram,
yeah,
right? And TikTok as well. So,
yeah,
but we will put that uh in your show page, but it's under Constance Hawkins. And now
that's
Constant
right,
is
that's
Constanze
right, yes,
Hawkins,
that's right,
Hawkins. So
yes.
there people can find you there. Is it Constant Hawkins on your TikTok as well, love?
Um, I can't remember whether my grandson put his name down there or not. That's Ned Hawkins.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't really look at that. He just shot it and he said, "Oh, I'll put it through my," because I didn't want to start a TikTok account, and
Right.
so he said, "I'll put it through on mine." I asked him to actually. I said, "Would you
Mm.
do one for me?" Because he did a TikTok page on blowing something into a drain or something, and he got so and so many thousand
I know. It's like
views. And that's what I thought to myself. Okay, I said, would you do one for my book?
I do one every week where I just put out a couple of minute perspective of the week, right? And put it out
Right.
there. But it's always an invitation to come back and listen, go deeper. The thing about TikTok or Instagram and many of these things, there should be an invitation to want to know more. And, we do
Right.
have a society where they've become headliners and they're
Yes.
caught up in the instant and they don't know how to go deeper. And so the whole
Right.
thing about any of that is an invitation to go deeper. You sharing even just a line or two, a poignant line or two from one of your poems with then the link to Amazon for them to go and buy it.
Yeah.
That's the invitation.
Okay.
So
Yes. Yes.
inspiration should beget invitation, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we walk around feeling very empty because we were inspired and then nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
And because we need to be willing to go further, go deeper, and
Okay.
be still and learn more. And that's what reading the poems are about. It's about picking up the book and reading it from beginning to end. Open the book and go, which poem do I need right now? And letting
Yes.
that page speak to you because that's what you needed right now,
Yeah.
right? Which is
Yeah.
really important. But you're capturing the wonderment of nature. You're capturing the story of whatever flower or plant that you're capturing there. You're giving people a different way of looking at something. You're giving people a smile, right? And
Yeah.
that smile then gets passed on. That's the
Yeah.
beauty of it. It gets passed on. So this
Yes.
is where I think it's important for us to find things that bring us joy and that
Yeah.
allow it to get passed on because that's what you're doing.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Any final words, or would you like to read anything else from your book before we go, hun?
Just one. I'll read one more poem from Inspirations, and it's Newborn. I like this one. Let me see where it is. Here it is. Newborns, and the photograph is of a mother duck
You
with the
have to
two
bring it
little
up, sweetie.
ducklings.
You have to bring it up to the camera. Yeah.
There's the mother duck with the two little ducklings. One of them is very close to mum, and the other one is a little braver. He's sitting a little further away. So I'll
Right.
finish with this. Fluffy, fine, feathery friend, soft baby bunting scents inspire, fledgling words of mother's side, born to carry on life's lovely essence. Honeydew drips through your veins, easing out into the air, melting warmth into the soul, creating closeness, holy bonds, intimacy that knows no bounds, radiating through up into the clouds, dropping again like heavenly mist, displaying wonders, cosmic splendor. Helpless you are, though brave and bold, and so new life stories will be told.
Mm-hmm. The beginning of a new, especially so poignant as I've got another grandson coming any minute now. So yeah. And that's the thing is that whether we're actually physically giving birth or whether we're giving birth to ourselves and a new chapter of our lives, right? Is everything is about renewal.
Yeah.
Something comes to an end, which just means there's a renewal of something different. And if we look at that renewal, that new opportunity, that new approach to life, it just helps us see things in a different way, doesn't it?
Yes,
Which is
yes.
important. So
And to
poetry,
appreciate it, and to appreciate it.
yes, yes, and to see its nuances, its different angles and perspectives, and see things from a different point of view instead of dogmatic one line. And it's like let's blossom out like the flower, blossom out into
Yes,
many leaves or many petals, and
yes,
because each petal counts, right?
yes,
Which is
yes.
so important. So beautifully done. So thank you so much. I know it's like 3 o'clock in the morning for you now. So time for you to go and get some shut eye. And I appreciate you as staying up this late to do this.
Oh,
But
no, that's fine.
and for following your path. This is something I always encourage people to do. You're never too old, it's never too late. Right.
Yeah,
I started this
yeah,
line of work at 57. I'm turning 71 in a couple of weeks. So,
yeah.
it's never ever too late to do something that warms your heart and that has a meaningful purpose. So thank you for finding your purpose and warming our hearts.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
And remember, folks, you can go to her Instagram, Constant Hawkins, Constanze. Stanze, Hawkins, Hawkins. Befriend her there. You'll see all her photography. She's going to be putting her book up at least once a week for you to go to, but you can also find it on Amazon. And I think, both books is something that is really a good idea to get. If you're facing loss right now, going through a change, something's come to an end, new beginnings, the first one is really a good one to do. And now you really want to cheer yourself up and look at life from in a new perspective, then Inspirations is there for you. And don't forget, Christmas is around the corner, and giving the gift of inspirations to other people can illuminate their own lives, can cheer them up, can have them see things in a different way. Great if they have kids or don't have kids. It just makes a great gift, because a book is something that keeps on giving. So please put it on your Christmas list. So thank you so much, Constance, for being with us here today.
Thank you, Sarah.
And to everyone else out there, may you be inspired by nature, because she is truly inspirational. Bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. There are so many more for you here on selfdiscoverywisdom.com. Just go to the podcast tag at the top there, and you will see all the many genres and all 3,000 shows ready for your listening. We are here to serve you, to help you on your journey of life, and we know that through inspiration, it begets invitation. We are supported by you, the listeners, and those that we interview. Anything that you can spare us in donation would be greatly accepted, and we do hope that you enjoy the next show.